Hello, you beautiful people. This is DyliardGaming speaking from the Open Wardrobe Gang, and welcome to yet another episode of our blind playthrough of Mass Effect 2. As you guys can see, based on the title and the thumbnail of this video, we are finally doing it. We are finally making a proper nosedive into the Codex. Hell yeah. And I'm so excited that it's finally here, especially excited because of the events of the very last major episode, in which all of the stuff with the Horizon colony happened, and big lore reveals around collectors and the entity controlling them got or slid into our codex, hopefully, right? So it would be a damn shame and a damn crime if we were to just not check them out. Well, without further ado, let's jump right into it, shall we? As you guys can tell, we are in the captain's cabin, pretty cozy place, and I think we'll be using it for this particular session of Codex reading. Mostly cozy, with one exception. We'll be looking at the empty the empty fish tank, constantly being reminded of my mistakes related to feeding the little fishes. Okay, could we orientate ourselves up on something? Up on something? Oh shit. Definitely turn that down. Definitely turn that down. We don't want music to be constantly blasting into our ears. We can just cycle through this shit? Please? Please? God damn it. Okay, I think we are Gucci. I think that was the end of them. I don't believe we can mount the bed or mount up this couch. I don't believe there's a crouching button in this game, so I guess we'll have to, just pretend. Let's see the main course, however, the big old blinking Codex button. Alright, once again we get the differentiation between primary and secondary. I do hope the voice acting is still in, considering this game. It would be a shame, considering my voice and not being able to hear the greatly performing voice actor, right, if voice acting for the Codex wasn't in the game. A lot of blinking categories. If you guys remember, I mentioned it at the beginning of episode 2 when I re-rolled my character. When I loaded up initially into the game as an adept, I immediately went into the Codex and marked everything from the very first game as viewed, so that we have no blinking things regarding the very first game. So this stuff that you're seeing should be the new and exciting stuff, and there's a lot. Secondary. Oh my goodness. Okay, there is a lot, and something related to Kasumi and Zaid, huh? Interesting. Okay, let's just hit up the very first one and see how this goes. Aliens, non-council races.
In the early 2160s,
okay.
The Alliance began aggressive colonization of worlds in the...
It's still there.
Evolved in a hot...
How about instances of new ones?
The L-Core, living beyond the Omega-4 mass relay in the Terminus systems, the mysterious collectors species is glimpsed so rarely as to be taken for a myth by most in galactic society.
Yes.
Collectors are human-sized insectoid bipeds and can resemble massive winged beetles. They are a terrifying force in the galaxy, responsible for the murder of hundreds of thousands. Collectors generate permanent stasis fields around themselves, creating nightmarish red-shifted energy fields. In battle, they hold position whenever possible.
Definitely.
Their aggressive biotics and nearly limitless power. Several types of bipedal collectors have been identified, including minions, defenders, zealots, assassins, and artillery operators. Acting together, collectors have imprisoned entire cities in stasis. While no definite forensic accounting exists to explain the fate of those imprisoned, leading speculation is that victims are harvested for scientific experimentation and neurobiological repurposing.
Okay, nothing too new in this particular one. Thank God, to start it all off, that our beautiful acting voiceover is back. You can actually hear like the difference between like the recordings of the very first one that I played and this one. Okay, at least we get to see like a close-up of this particular thing. Before, the very last episode, we were not familiar with collectors, in persona. Right, just seeing footage of them, and there was some static on that footage, so I am really happy with us finally being able to see like the race or like faction we'll be going up against in this one. They look a little bit freaky. They do. Yeah, insectoid bipeds, certainly. A little bit of that humanoid in them also. I don't necessarily know whether that's like their face or is it like a suit of armor on top of them, but like one way or another, those glowing eyes do send shivers down my spine. Yeah, we've met several types. I believe in the very last one it was like the Guardians spawning those shields, those Geth-like shields, and like drones, not necessarily mentioned over here. Okay, starting off slow, but we'll get there.
The Krogan
Praetorians. What the hell are Praetorians?
Driven from their home system by
And the Vorch are also here. Okay. Praetorians? Oh, this shit.
Resembling a cross between an octopus and a giant crab. Praetorians are well-armored killing machines of mysterious origin.
Most certainly.
Praetorians employ redundant systems from the multiple humans encased within them. Armed with eye-mounted particle beams and capable of attacks at close range, they teleport to evade attack while regenerating their shields. Within hours after death, the organic components of Praetorian corpses disintegrate into a denatured pus, while their mechanisms turn to ash. One specimen, autopsied within minutes of death, reveals a clue. Nanomachines may disintegrate the Praetorian's organic and mechanical components before self-destructing. If correct, this self-rendering hypothesis could account for 3 documented cases of dead Praetorians apparently releasing or becoming clouds of neurotoxic gases, causing suffocating paralysis and nearly instant death. In one remote facility, 17 soldiers died from gas inhalation while assessing the Praetorian.
That's wacky.
Any personnel in the vicinity of dead Praetorians are urged to protect themselves with breathing apparatus.
Yeah, even after death, they are mighty dangerous. Yeah, this guy was a piece of work. Definitely a challenging fight. Hopefully I was able to, draw aggro in the very last episode and kind of let my guys do their thing. But did I miss something? It's an octopus and giant crab, well-armored killing machine of mysterious origin. Certainly, fair to say that they are being controlled by the collectors, right? But they are listed as a completely separate thing from them in known council races. I was thinking this is just like some sort of a construct, a la Geth, right? But this is the interesting part. Redundant systems. They employ redundant systems from the multiple humans encased within them. These freaking skulls that I was seeing. It wasn't just like a, cool visual to throw at us. It was actually, some part of their system. Interesting. Definitely freaky. Do wonder if we'll be seeing more Praetorians out there, not just this flying Cthulhu monsters, right? As multiple collectors are listed in their entry. Vorcha now, these motherfuckers.
A mammal-reptile cross, the Vorcha have no terrestrial analog. They are humanoid in form, but Vorcha have clusters of non-differentiated neoblast cells, like those of Earth's planarian worms. Damaged Vorcha cells mature into specialized structures to alleviate injury or stress. Transformations include thicker skin following injury, lung adaptation for barely breathable atmospheres, and stronger cardioskeletal muscle under high gravity. Skull capacity and brain size do not change, and Vorcha rarely make more than one somatic overhaul. Vorcha assault each other frequently, causing their young to gain strength, intelligence, and resilience. As a result, Vorcha see inflicting and receiving pain as normal communication.
Oh shit, masochists.
In part because their average life expectancy is only 20 years.
Oh.
Because Vorcha can eat and breathe nearly anything, they can live almost anywhere. But racism prevents them from integrating into most societies that dismiss them as vermin. They have few employment options beyond Krogan mercenary bands.
Yeah, definitely the universe is working against the Vorcha. I was like hoping to get to know more about their, you know, culture and how they operate in a way, in like the galactic society, not necessarily about how they are built. They are built like freaking flies, let me tell you. Just 20 years, so undercutting even the fucking Solarians, huh? Yeah, I mean, what can you... It's like, I don't know, there is something to it. They just look evil. No wonder you wouldn't want to employ an individual looking like this, is all I'm trying to say. This one in like the image even has like a skull on his like armband. Alright, what else do we have? Humanity and the Systems Alliance. What do we have here?
A political economic pact for collective colonial security. The Alliance is the central galactic institution of human society. The Alliance gained associate membership to the Citadel Council in 2165, and full membership in 2183, with Ambassador David Anderson representing humanity.
Let's go.
Human political economic relationships vary between combative and lucrative. The Turians, who'd fought humans during the 2157 First Contact War, have become valuable trade partners, despite residual social hostility.
Oh, really?
Other
The
relationships
Turians?
are even more complicated. The rapid rise of human political influence on the Council, achieving in decades what others waited or are still waiting centuries to acquire, has galvanized suspicion and resentment against humanity. That negativity is vastly outweighed by the respect and trust humanity earned by saving the Council during the 2183 attack on the Citadel.
That's my work, baby.
At the cost of Alliance cruisers Cairo, Cape Town, Emden, Jakarta, Madrid, Seoul, Shenyang, and Warsaw, and their 2,400 crew.
Yeah, okay, so this particular one, Humanity and the Alliance system, or and the Systems Alliance, or rather the rise of the Alliance, is just like catching us up on some of the things that we've seen along, you know, that happened like off camera, where Shepard was being reconstructed. Very interesting. Probably the most you know, eye-rolling thing and surprising thing would be the freaking Turians actually establishing trade deals with us humans, or at least important and big enough trade deals to be mentioned over here. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, and we know which ones, you know, which cruisers and how many casualties there were, because, you know, we spoke at length with, you know, many people on the Citadel, including that one reporter. All right. Organizations, we are swiftly getting through these, if they just mean one entry per category. Oh no!
Following the First Contact War, an anonymous extranet manifesto warned that an alien attempt at human genocide was inevitable.
Okay.
The manifesto called for an army, a Cerberus, to guard against invasion through the Charon Relay. Derided as survivalist rhetoric written by an elusive man, the manifesto and its anonymous author soon fell off the media radar. But in 2165, terrorists stole antimatter from the SSV Geneva. The sole figure arrested named his sponsor Cerberus. Throughout the 2160s and 2170s, alleged Cerberus agents assassinated politicians, sabotaged starships bearing Uso, and conducted nightmarish experiments on aliens and humans. Denounced as human supremacist, Cerberus calls itself human survivalist. Counter-terror experts speculate Cerberus may have changed leadership with its recent shift to stockpiling ships, agents, and weapons.
Really?
Whether he, she, or they, the elusive man hides his finances hidden behind shell companies. Few doubt he will kill anyone attempting to expose him.
Really interesting. So in organizations we do have, okay, a lot about Cerberus, or a little bit about Cerberus and more about the mercenaries down there. Oh, really surprised that they have been around from like 2160s. I was not expecting that. I thought they would be like a newer type of an organization. And if we are talking about the organization as a whole, I was thinking, okay, maybe Cerberus is like the elusive man's like baby. He has always like controlled the organization. But based on this, it doesn't seem to be the case. May have changed the leadership with the recent shift in, you know, their operations. Okay, all right. Elusive Man is trying to a little bit distance himself from whatever the hell was happening, you know, with Cerberus in Mass Effect 1. But how new is he considering, like, you know, the leadership? We know that Miranda, his daughter, is like, you know, I don't know how to say it. He is like a mature human. I don't know, looking 25 plus years old. I don't know. I think this is like a fair assessment. So if she was, I believe she is a clone to a certain extent, but like how old is she, as in how long has she been operational? In a way is my question, right? Because she is like the baby of the elusive man, and the Cerberus as a whole poured so many resources into her. So I do wonder whether she saw any other leadership in like the organization. Very interesting. Oh, the very next one on the menu, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend.
The reclusive tycoon calling himself the elusive man is a human nationalist focused on advancing human interests, whatever the cost to non-humans. The Citadel Council regards him as a fanatic, posing a serious threat to galactic security.
Understandable.
A mysterious maverick, to say the least, the elusive man heads the Cerberus network. Dubbed the Elusive Empire by investigators, Cerberus is an allegedly untraceable syndicate of private intelligence agencies, biotics laboratories, engineering and scientific research teams, and lucrative front companies.
Oh, we know this firsthand.
A terrorist and seditionist organization by authorities, Cerberus is the only human power base other than the Terra Firma Party, strong enough to embarrass, if not threaten, the Council and its human representatives.
Oh, really? I was not getting like the... maybe I was getting the vibe that the Terra Firma Party... I didn't realize they were this big of a player in the very last one. Huh. Could they threaten the Council and the representatives? Very interesting. Okay, this is just like a bunch of fluff. We still don't know a lot about this guy. Was his name ever dropped in the game in any way, shape, or form? I cannot recall. I'm always wondering also about these mysterious lenses that he's using. I mean, I would say it points at like him having like some biotic abilities maybe, or some, you know, I don't know, AI chip enhanced brain or something. I don't know. Definitely cool looking. Definitely cool looking. What can I say?
Founded by notorious Batarian slaver Solum Dulcera, the Blue Suns began as a Skillian Verge protection racket, providing genuine protection from slavers and pirates. Eventually captured by the Systems Alliance Navy, Dulcera beat almost 24 charges to be convicted on a single count of conspiracy. The slaver benefited from the tutelage of cellmate and brilliant con artist Bernard Legit's Ledger. Upon release 5 years later, Dalsera incorporated Blue Suns as a legal security agency.
Okay,
Today,
humble
the Blue
beginnings.
Suns boast a galaxy-wide force of Batarians, Turians, humans, and Krogan. Each deployment is backed by a logistics core, selling everything from heavy weapons to shaving cream. Despite claims that Blue Suns sells its captives as slaves, no Blue Suns employee has ever been convicted on such charges.
We put an
Many
end
Blue
to
Suns
that.
members sport the company logo in tattoo form, removed during assignments and reapplied at mission end.
Very interesting. Yeah, looking at like the Blue Suns Eclipse and the Blood Pack, these guys seem to be like the most sensible one, in the sense that in the quarantine zone they were kind of, or before the quarantine zone struck, on Omega they were like kind of, I believe, controlling the district and, having a hold grip over like the law and how, that district operates, but in like a, I want to say in a positive sense rather, because when the fucking Blood Pack came in swinging, it was death and carnage everywhere. Similarly, them operating this prison where we found Jack in the very last 2 episodes, kind of, chaotic, neutral, I want to say, in like general, considering the Blue Suns. Definitely better looking, a little bit better looking morality wise than the Blood Pack. We're moving on to the Eclipse. They are the not so often mentioned, I believe.
Brainchild of Asari Commando Jonas Sideris, Eclipse was incorporated as a proactive security company. Influenced by Asari and Solarian military doctrine, Eclipse specializes in sabotage, assassination, and personal and organizational security. Although Citadel governments regard the corporation with suspicion, it's embraced in the Skillian Verge and Terminus systems.
We have not seen that much of them.
Sought government contracts to establish market share against the better established Blue Suns. Her agency scored a galactic PR coup by retaking several space stations captured by the Anher People's Liberation Army and neutralizing its leaders. Victory Eclipse's marketing department never ceases trumpeting. Based on Omega Station, Eclipse controls nearly 20% of the asteroid's real estate.
Yeah, only 20.
Its services range from mech repair to open warfare, although assassination is reserved for meeting wider, longer-term company goals. For instance, preemptive strikes against pirates rather than murdering spouses for insurance money. Despite numerous reports, Eclipse denies sabotaging or kidnapping business rivals.
Yeah, definitely cool sounding, especially this piece of armor and paint that we see in like the associated image. We have not seen that much of them outside of like the quest, the Archangel quest on like Omega, where we, I believe, were fighting some of those mercenaries because it was the 3 groups coming together in order to take our boy Garrus down. We have not seen any action considering the Eclipse. I hope it's somewhere down the line.
Originally a small Terminus Systems Vorcha gang, the Blood Pack was transformed into a legion by visionary Krogan battlemaster Gunnar Rang. Exiled
the big
for
boy.
striking a female in anger, Rang obsessed over reclaiming his lost status.
Oh no!
Leading the Vorcha Pack as a pirate crew, Rang cultivated recruits and infamy for a decade before incorporating his fighters as a security company across the Skillian Verge. His notoriety ensured his initial public offering for investors made him rich beyond most Krogan's dreams. Rang returned triumphantly to his clan, rallying elders, Krogan hordes, and their firepower and biotic support toward professional violence in the Terminus system.
Yeah, these guys are unhinged.
Space, the Blood Pack bribes its way through spaceports into armed conflicts across the galaxy. Priding themselves for accepting otherwise untouchable contracts, the Blood Pack rejects bodyguarding and security in favor of cases requiring minimal oversight and maximal violence.
Yup, the Vorcha populated freaking Blood Pack. Let's go. Probably the most striking, pun not intended, Pun not intended. A piece of information is the one for striking a female in anger. He was exiled for that. I guess this all has to do with like the genophage and the way like Krogan society, I want to say, sees like the, I don't know, position of a female freaking figure, and how kind of important they are for the Krogan. Really interesting. I mean, it generally says here a female. I can only assume it's female Krogan. Do the Krogan even have females? I don't think we've seen one on like the in the freaking game. All right, moving on. Planets and locations. Okay, maybe something about, I believe the very first game, at least in this category, gave us a lot about, you know, the planets that we were visiting during main story missions. So Vermeer, Feros, you know, Noveria, stuff like that.
Freedom's Progress colony was once a typical Alliance settlement, but following complete communications blackout and its apparent destruction, is now a lightning rod for anxiety and dread in the galactic human community. The communications blackout followed an upgrade of the colony's small military force, supplemented by mechs and security drones, with high-powered, tower-mounted Guardian lasers.
Oh, they also had them.
Complained about construction cost overruns, delays, noise, and damage to the local environment. They also feared the defense array could be seen as provocative to their world's neighbors. Such fears may not have been baseless. Authorities have still offered no explanation for the communications blackout, fueling rumors of plagues, natural disasters, or a cult-inspired mass suicide. Located in strategically insignificant space, Freedom's Progress colony had once offered residents spectacular rainbows, lush marshlands, and stunning mountain ranges. Its potential as an agricultural settlement and tourism wonderland rivaled that of any Alliance colony.
Okay, wow, that's impressive. I totally got like a urban, industry heavy, you know, sort of a vibe. That's what I was getting from like the Freedom's Progress. I guess I was wrong. Tourism wonderland. That's a huge statement. They also had the Guardian lasers. It's so funny that this echoes like the worries of like that one particular mechanic we met in the very last episode, him being afraid that, oh yeah, we totally fucking pissed off the collectors because you know, we are installing like the big guns. Okay, speaking about the collectors, we are moving on to the Horizon. Let's see its fate, possibly.
A typical terminus colony possessing
once again typical
value. Horizon promises substantial economic opportunity, especially in providing new products for humans and supplying a Turian hierarchy. Surveyed 18 years ago, Horizon received pilot habitation 4 years later. The colony proper is now 8 years old.
Rather young.
Forests and abundant fresh water, Horizon maintains a colonial culture that thrives as a refuge from the increasing restrictions of Citadel-governed society. Horizon has attracted numerous dissidents, marginal people, and fringe dwellers from across Alliance space.
Very interesting. Only now it's, you know, kind of appearing in my mind, this epiphany, moment of realization that all of these colonies truly look like something that you could see on Earth, considering, you know, how the planets operate and, you know, whether they can be cultivated by humans, right? Eden Prime, the Horizon, Freedom's Progress, considering, you know, the environment, definitely something that you could see on planet Earth, I believe. It doesn't seem like the Alliance and, like, I mean, not the Alliance, the humanity as a whole is interested in some wacky, weird-ass looking planets, alien planets. Also desolate planets. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Known as the Starcraft Cemetery,
Yep.
Corliss was the regional
Dr. O'Keir.
junkyard for centuries. Ships reaching astronomical near-death at connecting mass relays were sent to Corliss, stripped of every useful component, then dumped planetward to clear shipping lanes.
That's awesome.
Currently, Corliss hosts numerous merc factions, such as the Blue Suns, rumored to be using downed ship fossils to test advanced munitions. Massive gun batteries threaten anyone attempting planetfall, with minimal defenses against ground attack. Because ancient volcanism greenhoused the planet, Corliss was too hot and CO2 rich to develop a biosphere, despite the abundant lakes that could have sponsored the development of life.
Really?
Now
Lakes?
cool enough for protected habitation, but too scorching for anyone but extremophiles and mercenaries seeking secrecy, Corliss supports numerous Krogan outposts. The Krogan have therefore seeded Corliss with hardy Varen, often kept as warhounds. Varen live primarily on a diet of geophagous vermin and each other.
Okay. Yeah, I mighty enjoyed Corliss considering how visually it was different from, I would say, most of the things that we've seen so far in like the Mass Effect series, right? I would say that's like a fair statement. There's great visuals of you know, working through this, as they call it, Starcraft Cemetery, and you are going in and out of like these ship parts and moving through holes. It was very, very nice, very nice. A little bit of a similar vibe was that Prison Planet in the very last episode, but it's just because Jack was constantly punching holes in like the walls, and that's why it also looked run down, similar to Corliss. Okay, Omega, the very last one for planets and locations.
Originally an asteroid rich in element 0, Omega was briefly mined by the Protheans, who eventually abandoned it due to its thick, impenetrable crust.
Really?
Thousands of years later, nature did what even the Protheans could not. A collision with another asteroid broke Omega in half.
That's cool.
Exposing its trove of element 0 for easy mining. A rush ensued as corporations and private individuals tried to strike it rich on Omega, and thieves and outlaws followed in their wake. As space became tight, construction of processing facilities extended vertically from the asteroid, creating Omega's jellyfish-like silhouette.
Yeah, they built a hangar.
Collisions, the station is ringed with enormous mass effect field generators that redirect incoming debris.
That's so cool.
Today, Omega is a major hub of narcotics, weapons, and EZO trafficking, without even a pretense of civilian government or military control. Only mercenary groups have been able to instill a limited order. The most ruthless is an Asari syndicate run by the notorious Arya T'Loak.
Arya T'Loak. Yeah, I hope Arya definitely resurfaces in the game. She seemed like a rather important character considering these early, stages of the game. It would be cool to see her play like a bigger role. No idea. I also had no idea Protheans were involved with this place at all. It's so funny. They were so like such a elevated type of a society, very intelligent and technology oriented, and to see it being like this empty hole filled with criminals, it's so funny. I mean, it's appropriately red for a reason, right? Similarly to how the Vorcha have like red outfits, this indicates clearly evil. Red means evil. Okay, what else do we have over here? Just 2 categories left, considering like the primary. Ships and vehicles. What might this be? I mean, obviously making a prediction, Normandy 2.0 has to be discussed. M44 also, that we used in like the DLC, probably. Maybe something about the collector's ship. I would like that. I would like to see that.
The Systems Alliance space vehicle Normandy is a prototype starship created as a joint human and Turian venture. A frigate optimized for reconnaissance missions, the vessel uses state-of-the-art stealth technology.
Okay, we know
ships
this.
Generate tremendous heat that is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, temporarily sinks this heat within its hull. Because of exterior hull refrigeration, the ship can travel undetected for hours, or drift passively for days of covert observation. That heat sinking carries the risk of cooking the crew alive if the stored heat is not eventually radiated.
R.I.P.
Also contributing to stealth is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a Mass Effect core double the standard size. The Tantalus generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
Yeah, I don't even know whether this was a new entry, but you never know when you're opening up like a category and the very one, and the very top one plays automatically. You never know whether that was new, but I believe we know most of it. I'm actually like mighty interested in this one particular side quest that, you know, is making us go to like the Normandy crash site. I want to do that shit ASAP. Okay, what about the 2.0 version, however?
With elaborate secrecy, Cerberus labored for years to build a new, superior Normandy.
Okay.
The vehicle's many alterations produced a craft nearly double the original size, requiring an even larger Tantalus drive core to compensate. The new Normandy features greater space in living quarters, research laboratory, observation deck, and cargo bay. Its shuttle can make landings the Normandy cannot attempt. In addition to tight beam communicators, Normandy's Quantum Entanglement Communicator, QEC, provides instantaneous contact with the elusive man. The Enhanced Defense Intelligence, AI, coordinates many of the ship's combat functions, assisting and even supplanting human piloting. Potential upgrades are numerous. The airframe could support additional armor and an axial mass accelerator.
Okay.
The thrusters could support recent advances in fuel technology beyond H2O2 chemical rockets.
This is talking about the upgrades from the squad.
Double the standard number of kinetic barrier projectors, leaving space for stronger shields, easily sustainable via the new ESO drive core.
Very interesting, very interesting. However, no new, news how this thing was built in general, right? At the beginning of the game, I like suspected, oh, of course, they picked Shepard off and like the wreck alongside him. Therefore, they have like the original Normandy and they built like the Cerberus one based on that. But I don't believe that's the case because the original Normandy is still somewhere out there for us to, you know, check out. So it's still a mystery how they, you know, arrived at this particular design. Must have stolen a few blueprints.
The Systems Alliance UT-47 drop shuttle landing craft holds 12 soldiers in a cramped, uncomfortable cargo bay and 2 more in the cockpit. Officially named the Kodiak, the drop shuttle is better known to Alliance Marines as the Combat Cockroach.
Oh my god.
Due to its appearance and durability. The vehicle's robust environmental sealant technology exposes few vulnerable parts to the elements. First tested in the sulfuric acid clouds and extreme temperatures of Venus, the Kodiak can land in hard vacuum, high pressure, and temperatures from near absolute zero to over 900 degrees Celsius.
Impressive.
A true contragravitic vehicle, the Kodiak's substantial Element Zero core allows flight by entirely countering the vehicle's mass. Its small thrusters are for directional control only. So if the mass effect field fails, the vehicle becomes a proverbial 3 million credit coffin. The unarmed shuttle forgoes weaponry space for active masking, electronic countermeasures, and a robust kinetic barrier system, ideal for dropping troops undetected.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. They are hyping up like the drop shuttle a lot in this particular entry. I'm still missing myself the go-to vehicle of the very first one, the Mako, right? Whenever we would be, you know, landing in like a port, of sorts, right? We would be able to do it with the original Normandy in the very first game. In every other instance, we would be dropped down onto the planet with like the Mako. So while this thing is cool, I am missing the best vehicle in the universe, goddammit. That's right. The scene still plays in my mind when Joker on Ilos dropped us basically on top of freaking Siren's face. That was so funny. It was great. It was great. What do we have here? Weapons, armor, and equipment. This thing can be like mighty populated with like these prototypes that we've found along the way. Maybe considering armor and stuff like that, it's the Cerberus, not the Cerberus, the Collector shields or something. Who knows? New, like, biotic implants also, maybe?
The Collector's particle beam weapon is strangely crafted, possessing few moving parts, lacking any obvious means for disassembly, and containing organic parts.
That's what we found, just found.
To create a destructive beam is several orders of magnitude more than the energy required to launch a physical projectile at high velocity via a mass effect field. Lacking any clear ammunition or fuel source, the device likely uses heat sinks or compensators to maintain firing during sustained combat. Current Cerberus efforts to understand the technology and replicate it have failed.
Actually, that sounds awesome. I have to fucking try it out whenever we, you know, get back into the game, get back into the combat, so it's limited by, like, heat. That's awesome. That, you know, just makes me think of, like, the original game and how it handled, like, ammo. Okay, that's pretty cool. Could come in handy when you are, like, all out of ammo in an extended firefight. Okay, I guess this concludes the lovely primary voiced category of, like, the Codex. Let's move into the doozy and a half category of the secondary ones, with just a lot of blinking stuff. Let's see what we get here. Aliens, known council races. What will we find in here? I'm trying to think. I mean, probably more info about the Vorcha and the like, right? Okay. I believe the very first one might be new one, right? Collectors. Krogan. New stuff about the Krogan, okay. Actually, not the biggest fan of like this new UI for the Codex. A little bit confusing, and I guess that's it. A new one for like the Krogan. Blood Rage. Yeah, totally. Shit, I already clicked that. I guess I have to remember now that the Blood Rage was the one that we were looking at. Collector General. Okay. In keeping with like the previously established rules, we are presented with like 3 separate paragraphs. Cerberus, a xenobiologist, believed until recently that the collectors were coordinated by a biotically active caste, similar to other insectoid alien species. Okay, as in, I don't know, like the Queen of the Rachni, possibly. New evidence suggests the collectors have a singular commander. Okay, let's go, let's fucking go. It's him, the big bad. A so-called collector general that has never been seen on the battlefield. Instead, it selects its minions as remote platforms for its consciousness in a process that has been linked to a biological hack or a cybernetic version of demonic possession. Oh my goodness. That's interesting. You'd think that, you know, as they are like a member of the same species, if you can call that, you'd have that entity would have like a more natural way of, you know, taking over these drones. But it's like demonic possession. That sounds scary. The Collector General can send a secure signal to any one of its minions, smoothly take control of their motor functions, and awaken their previously dormant biotic potential. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Can he, you know, take over just the drones, or actually any, you know, capable collector. In a matter of seconds, even the lowliest collector drone can be upgraded to a battle-hardened biotic commander. If the collector dies, the general can simply activate and control another body. Kind of a scary ability to go up against. Post-mortem analysis reveals that this command signal relies on cybernetic implants directly installed in the collector's cerebellums. Or cerebellums, however you pronounce that. But how the technology functions is presently unknown. I guess we got all of that information, you know, right after this particular episode. You would think that the Elusive Man can swoop in and collect all of those bodies of collectors we killed because, you know, prior to all of this, it's like collectors were thought to be like a myth, right? Similarly, that Praetorian, I believe the name was, just 3 instances of us catching and being able to examine one of those. Do wonder whether these, you know, these instances came after Shepard initially ran into, like, the Praetorian. Coordinating sensory input and motor functions simultaneous with remotely amplifying biotic abilities is beyond the grasp of current human science. Why such an advanced species would be interested in humans is puzzling. Yeah, they were taking them for them to ascend or something like that. I was theorizing that, you know, all of the collectors are made of humans, and they need to collect more humans in order to, you know, populate their army. More disturbing still, victims of the collectors say the general has spoken to them and referred to them by a human name, Harbinger, or Harbinger. Huh. Okay. Alright, interesting. Blood Rage. What is this referring to? I don't know, I don't remember. Feared throughout the galaxy and as nightmarishly violent warriors, the Krogan are both aided and hobbled by their legendary Blood Rage. Oh shit, this one is long. In the grip of that madness, Krogan become seemingly invincible but are merely totally unresponsive to pain. Blood-enraged Krogan fight regardless of injury level, to the extent that Krogan shorn of all 4 limbs continue gnashing past brain death until total somatic death. What the fuck, man? I don't believe we've seen it play out on camera or like on the screen. The supremely resilient, hyper-violent Blood Rage is the synergy of 2 aspects of Krogan neurology. The first aspect is a positive feedback loop in which adrenaline, also activated by fear or rage, suppresses serotonin, the brain chemical that induces serenity. The second is the overdeveloped Krogan limbic system. In Krogan, as in humans, fear or rage shifts mental control from the frontal lobes, responsible for reasoning, to the limbic system, responsible for aggression and survival. Holy smokes. Adrenaline is pumping for the Krogan at all times, huh? During the shift, Krogan and humans exhibit diminished capacity for logic and self-control. Prior to the ecological devastation of Tuchanka, Blood Rage was extremely rare among the Krogan. Back then, while all Krogan were capable of heightened anger and violence in fight or flight scenarios, almost none experienced insensitivity to pain. The 1% who did were those suffering serotonin suppression. At that time, Krogan society regarded the condition as pathological and medicated or imprisoned sufferers to protect them and society. Yeah, I wonder how they medicated them. Following nuclear ecocide 4 millennia ago, evolution selected only those Krogan afflicted with Blood Rage for survival. Today, there is no living memory among the Krogan of a life without mindless, murderous fury. Holy shit, man. These guys are absolute legends. These guys are absolute units, huh? Even more impressed with the Krogan still. And when you find like an actually sensible one, I do wonder what the game has in store for like the Krogan in general and like the Grunt, our new companion. Getting excited about that. Okay, no sapient creatures. What might appear here? I'm trying to freaking recall. What non-sapient creatures we ran into in this particular game? What? I cannot recall. Okay, alright. The Scions. Makes sense. Definitely the highlight of the very last episode, considering, you know, the tough encounters. These motherfuckers, similarly to like the boss, the boss of the episode, the Praetorian, were able to drop my squad, actually the entire squad, in just like one ability when we are like huddled together, right? And like that instance of us having to fight husks and scions at the same time. Fucking nightmarish, man. Okay, let's see. Though the exact fate of species camp... It's like, yeah, now it makes me think the husks are like the product of the Geth. The Geth were getting more and more organic and progressing more and more throughout the series. Is this just like another step in like the evolution of like the Geth and their creations? Though the exact fate of species captured by the collectors is unclear, the humanoid appearance of the Scions gives ghastly clue. The Scion's frame and skull are similar to those of human or Asari, but the bone structure is overlaid with a metallic resin. Okay. Posthumous examination of their bodies reveal a skin tone resembling that of Reaper husks. Wait, what do you mean Reaper husks? As in fucking Sovereign? What? Wait a minute, I'm not following. What Reaper husks? Were we able to, you know, analyze? Posthumous examination of their bodies reveals a skin tone resembling that of Reaper husks, but their transformation process seems more extensive. Like husks, they are, or at least I guess it's like, yeah, you know, okay, maybe it's not like, maybe it's not talking about the Sovereign, but like the literal husks, these guys over here, that may be not necessarily related just to the Geth, but to the Geth and the Reapers. Their transformation process seems more extensive. Like husks, they are cybernetically modified on a nanoscale, so they can operate even in a hard vacuum. Oh shit. Hoses, rather than veins and muscle tissue, join major portions of the body together. One arm is replaced with a construct that fits a large rifle, turning the creature into a humanoid weapons platform, and a fleshy sack is supported by the creature's back and head. That's what I was saying. The like horror elements are once again resurfacing, and I'm loving that. I am loving the visuals of like the Scions. They are fucking grim. The Praetorians too. The sacs contains brain matter and spinal tissue, too much to have come from just one victim. This indicates Scions are an amalgam of several individuals, with one primary victim providing the frame and several secondaries providing the flesh for a decentralized semi-mechanical nervous system. Ooh, that line goes hard. This decentralization makes them highly resistant to gunshot wounds. Even a headshot is not a certain kill. The Scions' weapons, however, indicate that Scions retain some living tissue, or at least sustain some of the same electrochemical reactions as those of a human biotic. The weapons create a powerful warp effect, which is consistent with the nodules visible in the Scion's expansive nervous system. Given the rarity of human biotics, it seems likely that these dust form nodules are deposited during their transformation rather than requiring a biotic victim in the first place. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. One of the more observations that I have, both scions and like the predator, not the fucking predators, the predators, the proteins, and the Praetorians. The Praetorians. Both scions and like the Praetorians, they didn't get like a health bar. All they had was like an armor bar, and like the Praetorian had like a shield on top of that. Interesting. The very first like instance of that in the game, I believe, in the series. Oh, nice, nice. Something about Project Overlord. Lord. Awesome. Awesome. Getting to revisit that, but it's just about it. It's just about the planet. I was getting excited about some even more closure and, you know, some future developments considering this thing. 2 beautiful moons, 1 spectacular ring, 0 neighbors, says a popular advertisement for this terminus system world. It is known for its sparsely settled population, despite being a garden planet with a colony nearly a century old. Yeah, that's probably due to the fucking asteroid that is about to collide with it in the incoming years. I believe that was like the piece of trivia that we read. Blessed with a mild climate, wildlife no more dangerous than that on Earth, and soil and bacteria amenable to imported plants, it would appear to be an unexploited paradise. Certainly beautiful, these M44 sections, and how vast and different these, like, biomes were that we got to see, right? This beautiful, green one with waterfalls, another one right around the corner with the fucking lava. It was also cool. However, it is unpopular for 2 reasons. The first and most obvious is that its moon, Litae, is an unstable orbit that will lead to a planetary impact and an extinction level event within the next 2 centuries. Okay, so it was a moon, not an asteroid. As such, all investments in the planet is a short term, and the biggest business is selling off the local biota to the highest bidder. Okay. The second drawback is the level of violence on the planet. Like the rest of the Phoenix massing cluster, it was briefly considered part of Citadel space during its first wave of colonization. However, when the colony broke off to become an independent planet in 2133, the Council let the doomed planet go with less than a day of debate. Free from any real governing body, its history has been filled with wars between small frontier town-sized states over its resources. Very interesting. The result is a dangerous world where the average citizen is expected to be self-reliant to the point of fending for themselves against cutthroat corporations, strong armed militia groups, and even Keth incursions. The fighting is so frequent that the name of the planet itself has changed more than 11 times. In a sign of blunt indifference, standard Citadel Galaxy maps refer to the world by the name given to it by human colonists in the latter half of the century. Very interesting. Very interesting. I love this piece about, changing the ownership a couple of times, because it's like part of like the universe and the lore that I was not like aware of or like was not thinking of, like the history of the universe, right? We have like the Rachni Wars, we have like the Krogan Wars and everything before and after that. So like the Citadel space and the Council space, it must have, must have varied in size throughout these throughout these periods, and there is just some there are instances of space being occupied by the council races, and it might no longer be the case in some instances. That's very interesting, Okay, what do we have here? Planets and locations, publications, ships and vehicle technology, and regarding the 2 guys that we brought along. Okay, planets and locations, secondary. Could it include some of like the lore bits that from like the scanned planets? Might be possible, or it will talk about like the fucking nightclub on Omega. Okay, it talks about like the prison planet that we've just seen. All right. Originally an ARC ship designed to carry our agricultural animal. Oh shit, that's so messed up. Originally designed to carry agricultural animals, the Purgatory was taken by the Blue Suns mercenary company during a large-scale battle in the Skyllian Verge. In a years-long reconstruction of its interior, the Blue Suns repurposed it to hold sapient prisoners, supposedly because they captured so many in their conflicts throughout the galaxy. That's so funny. God damn it, we have so many captured prisoners that we have to have a dedicated prison for them. More than a prison freaking spaceship. When media outlets started investigating claims that the ship was used for slaving operations, the Blue Suns turned a public relations nightmare into a regular income source. Of course. Claiming to be in full accordance with Citadel law, the crew of Purgatory now regularly lands on planets or space stations, claiming that they can no longer hold their prisoners because of cost overruns. Oh, so funny when that, chief of that prison was, giving us a rundown how it operates. Oh, you guys are not interested in, funding us a little bit more? How about we return all of these fucked up individuals onto your planet? To avoid keeping prisoners from under inhumane conditions, they will have to release them at the nearest port, dumping the scum of the galaxy directly into the local population. Faced with such a scenario, the government usually grants Purgatory's crew massive discounts in fuel, food, and repairs as long as they go away. Some even offload their own prisoners to Purgatory for a fee, grateful to have a problem relocated somewhere other than their backyards. Such unfortunates go in the dark depths of the ships, never to be seen again by their families or contacts. Really interesting. I guess we also kind of ended their career because, yeah, that thing was apparently blowing up to smithereens. Like the Normandy 2.0 was the only way out of that ship. I don't know whether they can, put it back into operation, especially since like the Warden alongside Jack, they were just fucking gunning down every single prisoner that got out. I mean, myself included. I think I shot a couple. Purgatory is minimally armed with Guardian defenses. Though a cruiser-weight ship, it relies on the Blue Suns fighters to prevent any attacks bent on a jailbreak or similar events. Very interesting. Alright, what's next? What is next? Publications. I'm sussing this one out. Could it be in any way, shape, or form connected with those like books or magazines that we bought when we were in the Citadel? I think so. Yes. So the very first one is Ascension, written by human author Drew Karpyshyn. Probably butchered that one. Popular military historical novel Ascension focuses on several lives warped or destroyed by the human survivalist called Cerberus. Oh shit! Oh snap! Directly going for our head, huh? Following the Citadel attack of 2182 and the accelerated rise of human influence in the galaxy, Cerberus instituted Ascension, a secret biotics program aimed at producing a superhuman warrior. Biotics prodigy Gillian Grayson a 12-year-old autistic girl, suffered for the sins of her father, a secret Cerberus operative and red sand addict. Okay. Paul Grayson was ensnared in a web of criminality involving a Quarian traitor and extending to Saren Arterius, the Geth and a terminal threat to the Quarian flotilla. Having fled to the Terminus system with his daughter after exposure of Cerberus linked to Ascension, Grayson was pursued by Gillian's teacher, scientist Kali Sanders, initiating a chain of tragedies that demonstrated Cerberus's nearly unultimate power and boundless ambition. Curious about this one. Is it complete fiction, or is it relating to some events that are maybe playing out in universe? Or maybe this is a reference to, you know, another book. Or like a piece of media, I mean. You know, a cute Easter egg. Based on the rundown of, like, the plot, I don't believe I'm familiar. I don't think I'm familiar with this one. Fornax. Lovely. Launched in 2167, Fornax magazine described itself as the galaxy's finest xenophilia. By its 5th year, Fornax became the first human magazine to offer full 5-sensory stimulation. Wait, what? A previously unaffordable magazine technology made profitable by the economy of scale. With a monthly publishing run of 127 million available in both in hard copy and direct download, Fornax offers a range of alien models with particular emphasis on the unisexual Asari, although both genders of Quarians, Drell, Batarians, and Volus. How did the Volus got dragged into this? Are regularly depicted. Oh my god, is this the Playboy of, like, the Mass Effect? Specialty editions such as Geneth Elcor and Krogasm service devoted but smaller markets. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's lovely. I guess we only get, like, the cover. Is that a Hanar? I mean, we never see, like, the Hanar from this particular angle. They look even weirder than usual. Jesus Christ, man. Revelations. Revelation is a popular military historical novel by human writer Drew Karpshin, once again, that dramatizes human conflicts and political expansion following the 2148 discovery of the Prothean mass relay on Pluto, and the beginning of human galactic exploration. In 2165, years before the rise to political prominence, Lieutenant David Anderson was a young veteran of the Turian War investigating the destruction of top-secret military research Station Shang-Chi. Or Xi. Every scientist stationed at Shang-Chi, not necessarily know how to pronounce this. This is clearly of Chinese origin, had been slaughtered except Kali Sanders, okay, same character in both of the novels, who disappeared with the secret files, making her Anderson's prime suspect. The book traced Anderson's dangerous investigation of Sanders, which included run-ins with Blue Sun's mercenaries and a Krogan bounty hunter. The investigation uncovered illegal research into AI, and forced Anderson into an alliance with human-hating Turian Spectre Saren Arterius, who would eventually enter into a genocidal collaboration with the Geth. Holy shit, Saren is playing, like, big roles in these publications. Interesting. Okay, ships and vehicles. What might be we finding here? Is it the time for M44? Is it? Alright. Pursuit tactics, and this very first one, A61 Mantis gunship. Did we have this? What freaking mantis? I don't remember, I don't recall reading that in the original game. So I guess we'll be checking it out. The workhorse of mercenary bands throughout the galaxy. Oh, this might be like the gunship that was used in like the Dossier mission, right? Garrus's one, the one which fucked him up heavily, you know, made his face even more ugly. The workforce of mercenary bands throughout the galaxy, the Mantis is a two-man, vector thrust aircraft that excels in close air support roles. Highly modular in construction, the Mantis can be reconfigured as a low-altitude gunship, a fighter, a high-altitude bomber, or even a single stage-to-orbit spaceplane that can engage enemy craft around a planet or space station. The only role that the Mantis cannot perform is that of a true deep space fighter, as it has no FTL drive. Okay. So that shit has to be, you know, driven around and transported. Like a place of interest. First rolled off the assembly lines in 2170, the Mantis remains in service in dozens of armies across the galaxy. It is mostly commonly used as air support in pitched ground battles in a configuration that sports two pods for Inferno PKRs, precision kill rockets, and a chain-mounted M350 mass accelerator cannon. Its kinetic barriers, thermal decoy system, and electronic countermeasures suit make the Mantis far less vulnerable to surface-to-air attacks than previous generations of aircraft. Like most modern planes, the Mantis uses an element 0 core to ease the load of the engines with a mass effect field, allowing it to take off vertically or hover in place using minimal fuel. This also gives it far greater range and speed than the helicopters and jump jet aircraft that once filled its niche. A Mantis can take off from Baton Rouge, or Rogue, reach Moscow in a few hours, fly a ground attack mission, and return home before having to refuel. Very interesting, alright. Too bad we don't get to operate that craft ourselves, ever. Pursuit Tactics Space Combat. What is this about? Where did we get this? Drawing blanks. Depend on light. Sensors cannot detect objects moving at faster than light speeds. No ship can be detected at interstellar ranges. Detection at interplanetary ranges suffers from a light speed lag. Observers see ships not where they appear to be, but where they were when the light bearing their image left them, minutes, hours, or even days before. Very interesting, and I think I'm recalling this reading something like this, but it's marked as new, so I guess we'll read it anyways. To counteract light speed lag, battle fleets surround themselves with spheres of screening and scouting frigates. Pursuers cannot detect ships and directly intercept them. Instead, pursuers track where objects were, where they were heading, and at what speed they were moving. Such data reliably predicts an object's future location and for pursuit along its light-lagged wake. Ships trying to evade pursuit follow erratic zigzag courses, requiring pursuers to make stops to update their projections. I could have sworn we read that already. Alright, anything else in the vicinity? Disruptor torpedoes. Weapons javelin. I could have sworn... Okay, what about disruptor torpedoes? I definitely have vivid memory of reading about the Guardian. Maybe I'm just freaking rereading this shit. Disruptor torpedoes are powered projectiles with warheads that create random and unstable mass effect fields. When triggered, these fields warp space-time in localized areas. The rapid asymmetrical mass changes cause the target to rip itself apart. In flight, torpedoes use a mass-increasing field, making them too huge for enemy kinetic barriers to repel, because extra mass retards acceleration. Torpedoes are easy prey for defensive Guardian weapons and must therefore be launched at extremely close range to be effective. Yeah, I'm taking crazy pills. I fucking recall reading this. To prevent damage to the parent craft, torpedoes must be cold launched, meaning they are released before their thrusters ignite, aligning with its target trajectory. A fighter releases a torpedo and immediately thrusts away, while the torpedo continues to coast towards its target. After the fighter is clear no more than a second after launch, the torpedo activates its mass field and thrusters away from the fighter and towards its target. Torpedoes are the main anti-ship weapon used by fighters. Launched at point-blank range in ripple-fire waves, they are reminiscent of an ancient Calliope rocket artillery launchers, thus their popular nickname Callies. Yeah, I recall reading this. By saturating defensive Guardian systems with multiple targets, at least a few torpedoes will get through. I swear I know this. How about Javelin? Javelin. Could this be referring to the big ass weapon Garrus wants to install on top of Normandy 2.0? The Javelin is an experimental close assault weapon fitted on a handful of newer Alliance warships. It consists of a rack of 2 or more disposable disruptor torpedo tubes bolted or magnetically slung onto the exterior of a ship armored hull. Fired on converging trajectories, the torpedoes detonate in a precisely timed sequence that allows the warhead's dark energy to resonate and thereby magnify the resulting space-time warp effects. Interesting. Like fighter-launched torpedoes, javelins are cold-launched for safety reasons, though they use a different approach. Resembling old-fashioned submarine torpedo tubes, javelin torpedoes come packed in individual sealed tubes filled with compressed inert gas. Opening the front of the tube causes escaping gases to push the torpedo into the vacuum, releasing a puff of crystal around the mouth of the tube. After completely clearing the tube, the torpedo ignites its thrusters. Really? Javelin mounts are most often fitted on swift frigates, which enter knife-fight torpedo ranges as a matter of course. Javelins may also be fitted on heavier ships for short-range engagement such as trans-relay assaults. They are particularly useful in this role for dreadnoughts, which cannot lay their main guns on close-range targets. If it's closer-range type of stuff, I don't believe it's like the big gun Garrus wants to install. As missile weapons, javelins are subject to highly accurate defensive Guardian fire. They must be launched in large numbers and at short range to have any chance of hitting their target at all. Okay. And mass accelerators. Mass accelerators have been mentioned so many times. It would be weird to just get like an entry about them, but it is what it is. Mass accelerators propel solid metal slugs via electromagnetic attraction and repulsion. A slug lightened by a mass effect field can be accelerated to extremely high speeds, permitting previously unattainable projectile velocities. The primary determinant of a mass accelerator's destructive power is length, apparently. The longer the barrel, the longer the slug can be accelerated, the higher the slug final velocity, and therefore the greater its kinetic impact. Slugs are designed to squash or shatter on impact, increasing the energy they transfer to its target. Okay, that makes sense. Without collapsibility, slugs would punch through their targets while inflicting only minimal damage. Rather than being mounted on the exterior, starship guns are housed inside holes and visible only as gun portholes from outside. So probably also not like the big shit Garance wants to install. I'm just recalling that image that was there in like the upgrade window, right? Of it being like a big exterior gun. A ship's main gun is a large spinal mount weapon running 90% of the hull's length. While possessing destructive power equal to that of tactical nuclear weapons, main guns are difficult to aim. Because ships must be able to point their bows almost directly at their targets, main guns are best used for long-range bombardment fire. Approximately 40% of the hull's width. Broadside guns inflict less damage and can be mounted with greater numbers and more flexibility. The modern human Kilimanjaro class dreadnoughts. Okay. That's a new thing. I've heard of dreadnoughts, but not Kilimanjaro class ones. Mount 3 decks with 26 broadside accelerators a piece for a total salvo weight of 78 slugs per side, firing once every 2 seconds. Alright, that's a lot of fucking firing. However, mass accelerators produce recoil equal to their impact energy, while the mass effect fields suspending the rounds mitigate the recoil. Recoil shock can still rattle crews and damage systems. Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. Always want to see those things play out in, like, on camera, right? When you can actually see these things operate in their natural habitat, rather than, like, reading about them, but it's all Gucci. Alright, what can we find in technology? Maybe new biotic chips and stuff? We know this one. An implant is surgically embedded into which the amps are plugged in. I believe we know this. What new? Okay, computers apparently is the new entry. What is this about? Advances in computing have done away with traditional input devices like keyboards. Instead, modern input peripherals are usually holographically displayed in front of the user at a height and angle for ergonomic ease. Yeah, we've seen that. Along the way, machines that use this interface detect a user through a microframe chip in the user's glove that keys into the computer. Once a user is accepted, motion accelerometers in the user's glove match his hand location with that of proportionate but smaller mirror set of controls inside the computer itself. As the user presses against the holographic field, force feedbacks in the glove kick in, giving a slight resistance. A person can then feel his way through using a touch screens that isn't actually there. Really interesting. A simple toggle switch on the back of the hands allows the gloves to be turned off when not in use. Yeah, it's funny thing with holograms in sci-fi, they all look futuristic and clean and shit, but in reality I do enjoy myself my own monitor screen that you can actually, you know, see and not see through. I wouldn't be, you know, interested in whatever the fuck my coworker is doing in another cubicle. I wouldn't want to look at his back constantly, but you know, into my own stuff rather. Haptic interfaces have become so common that some individuals undergo cybernetic enhancement surgery to have the accelerometers implanted in their fingertips. Oh, these guys be grinding. Going bareskin is the sign of a committed computer user who no longer has to fuss with putting on gloves or cleaning them with alcohol wipes to get rid of the clammy hand smell. Ugh. The gamer gunk is getting into some of these gloves apparently. And security mechs, something about the ones we've been mowing down across, like, the Mass Effect universe? Possibly. The death of thousands of security and military personnel in the Battle of the Citadel was a loss felt throughout the galaxy. Okay. As large numbers of qualified personnel transferred to the Citadel to replace those that died, short-handed security companies filled out their numbers with large-scale use of unmanned security robots. Very interesting. So it's like a recent development and a recent phenomenon. Commonly referred to as mechs, the security robots are typically grouped into light and heavy varieties. Light mechs come in a variety of sizes but are easily distinguished by opposable digits that help them in their versatile security roles. Heavy mechs lack digits and are simply weapons platforms intended to keep the peace in high threat areas. The quadrupedal dog mechs has a face composed of contraband detection sensors, and it too is armed in case a perpetrator resists arrest. Yeah, I remember these fucking dogs. They run at you just like the husks do in this game, and you know, more importantly and more annoyingly, they absolutely blow up when they get too close to you or when their HP drops to 0. So we have to get rid of them ASAP. A typical security mech has an extremely limited virtual intelligence. Its duty is straightforward and narrow, usually to guard an area, run a friend or foe program, to hold unauthorized access, and fire a set of pre-recorded voice commands to warn troublemakers away from the area. Light security mechs are equipped with irritant sprays and electroshockers to force compliance, and heavy mechs may be outfitted with flashbang stunners for similar purposes. Yeah, usually these big-ass mechs, they use fucking miniguns and rockets on yours truly. When facing an opponent armed with a firearm, however, any mechs will immediately resort to lethal anti-personnel weapons to neutralize the threat. If the situation turns violent rapidly enough, it may not even use its warnings, certainly. Security mechs are frowned upon for actual military duty. Interesting. Though I'm seeing double. I mean, it's been a lot of reading, but I swear it's though in here. We thoughing. Finding a typo once again in the Codex. I remembered, you know, this similar scenario occurring in the very first one, when a word was capitalized for no reason whatsoever. Security mechs are frowned upon for actual military duty, though enough to survive most firefights. Their VI simply does not have the programming to plan an ambush, rescue a hostage, treat a wound, or any of countless other objectives that the soldier must be able to perform on the fly. Huh. Interesting. Interesting that they don't have, like, you know, unskilled drone operators that could, you know, pilot these insane mechs in, you know, military areas or war zones, right? It is certainly safer to, like, send out a machine being controlled by a human behind, like, a keyboard or a hologram in this case, than to just, you know, send out actual trained individual out there to slaughter. Alright, what is this? Kasumi's secrets and Zaid's secrets. What is this? Oh shit. This is actually quite extensive. And I think it is connected with I think this is connected with their quest lines. Their quest lines, which are like primary assignments that we have to do in the journal, not necessarily secondary. So I expect a lot from them. Interesting, and they have lore associated with them. Very, very cool. The grey boxes Kasumi was going on and on about. A mnemonic neural recall simulator, also known as a grey box, is a device implanted in the brain to assist and prioritize memory. Originally developed to slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease, grey boxes function by helping the what the fuck? Amygdala, I guess, chunk incoming stimuli into recognizable pieces for memory consolidation. Each memory is assigned a shape or sensation from other memories, tying the concepts together into a block that is more easily recalled. Okay. A memory aid. When Synthetic Insights first released them onto the market in 2140, grey boxes were hailed as a way humans could level the playing field between themselves and the Solarians, whose neural eidetic memories gave them an advantage. Really? The Solarians have an upper hand in that matter? However, because the implant procedure of a grey box requires the brain to irreversibly shift its workload over to the machine, software bugs or attempted removal of the grey box for maintenance purposes could lead to incapacitating brain damage. For this reason, grey boxes soon became used only by those with a dire need for photographic memories, such as researchers and spies. That's cool. In 2175, sale and implementation of grey boxes were outlawed by the Systems Alliance following an incident with Abraham Rumoy, an employee of the Alliance intelligence agency. Rumoy was believed to be a professional conman and thief named Keiji Okuda, the friend of Kasumi that is dead, who accessed and sold classified data. However, prosecuting attorneys were unable to use his assisted memories as evidence due to the Alliance court system's prohibition against self-incrimination based on the Fifth Amendment of the old US Constitution. Rumoy soon disappeared off the map following his trial, further heightening suspicions that he was Okuda and living off of ill-gotten gains. That's so funny. When found outside a human head, grey boxes are usually assessed or accessed with a specialized reader. A separate decryption key is almost always required, and users with data sensitive enough to require a grey box invariably install their own encryption. Very interesting, very interesting. I'm loving it. I'm loving how we are setting up and giving more backbone to this quest line. Alright, Planet Beckenstein. Planet Beckenstein. More glittering than diamonds, more expensive than surgery, is how travel agencies describe this planet behind closed doors. Given the opportunity to colonize planets after the First Contact War, the Systems Alliance chose Beckenstein to be their trading arm, producing goods to be sold on the nearby Citadel. Okay. Somewhere near Citadel. Cracking on the vast galactic marketplace proved difficult. The first human products sold on novelty alone, then lack of demand hit Beckenstein's economy hard. Only in the second generation of colonists did the planet find a sustainable niche in high-quality entertainment and luxury goods. Once brand awareness sunk in, aliens flocked to Beckenstein's many spaceports. The planet today boasts more millionaires and billionaires per capita than any other human colony. I don't remember what this is referring to. Maybe this is where we are supposed to be going in order to do the Kasumi's quest line. I can't right now recall, but I'm absolutely loving this description. It's just like an image popped in my head to, you know, maybe we will see Shepard and our spacefaring, you know, squad in like an actual place that is, you know, out of sorts. I would love it. I would love to like visit Earth, but not like the newly upgraded space sections of the Earth, but some of like the real life locations that we know and love, and to actually watch you know, Shepard walk through these environments and interact with them. Make Shepard visit a fucking castle. Make him, like, climb the top of, like, the Eiffel Tower or some shit. That would be great. That would be hilarious. Though its crime tends to be white-collar and non-violent, Bekenstein is not without its dark side. Both its suicide rate and inflation are extremely high compared to other worlds. Unemployment is artificially low because few people imagine or immigrate to the expensive planet without having a job lined up, and the cost of living is so great that unemployment workers typically leave for kinder planets after just a few months. Those who stay see themselves as tougher, sharper, and more skillful than the rest, as well as capable of getting respect and employment on any lesser planets. As a popular song says, if you can make it on the back, you got them by the neck. It's great. It's great. Yeah, I love it. I am looking forward to, you know, visiting this planet. While it will not have any, like, castles, right? Remnants of, like, the medieval period of Earth, because it was, like, a colony established somewhere, I would love to see just, like, a luxurious travel or business-oriented area, right? Most of the time we are, you know, out there in, like, the uncharted sections of the universe, tracking down people in some fucking run-down shitholes like Omega or something. So it would be great to see, like, just luxury-oriented spaces. Okay, how about Zaid? You cannot top that all of Zaid, man. You fit right in, considering, you know, run-down shit, I'm afraid. Bring firearms and antihistamines is what veteran guides say about this lush garden world. Okay, Zaid, but at the same time garden world, I love it. First colonized in 2160, Zoria's temperate and tropical zones are overrun with plants and fungi of all kinds. As a result, the air in most habitable areas is choked with pollen and spores that range from benign to deadly. The scattered colonies across the planet have resorted to clear cutting and slash and burn farming to create habitable zones. This totally evokes some of, like, an Avatar, not like the cartoon or like the Netflix show, but you know, James Cameron Avatar makes me think of that. Would be cool to visit a planet like that in the Mass Effect universe. And the more rural areas where the spores are thickest are populated only by Vorcha, of course, the Vorcha. Lax ecological laws allow mining and manufacturing industries to flourish and pollute cheaply, as the planet's carrying capacity outstrips the current size of its colonies. Zoria is also home to the Blue Sun. Oh my fucking god, even more Blue Suns shit. Mercenary company who dominate the colony's security forces. The Suns enjoy nearly unlimited influence with local politicians and judges, ensuring no other private military contractors can compete with them economically. Nearly every colony has a Suns recruiting station, if not a training camp, though this has hardly made the planet any safer. Piracy, drugs, and vice and political violence are commonplace. God damn it, we started so good with the lush garden world, you know, me seeing in my mind the image of, you know, Shepard walking through a jungle of some sort, an alien jungle. That would be so cool to see. And here we are, arriving at the end at more Blue Suns, fucking colonies, and piracy. But it is what it is. We get down to business, dirty business, usually, as a Spectre and as a Cerberus operative in this particular one. I guess with that one also, we are totally done with the Codex. Hype, 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 hype. Ooh, this took a long time, I have to say. This was sizable, but like no wonder after, you know, not checking out the Codex after fucking 10 episodes already. That was my bad. Certainly didn't have like the time or the capabilities and the capacity to do it earlier. A little bit light on like the cultural alien side, which is definitely my favorite, but it was cool nonetheless, I have to say. Hey, we are not done with the fun just yet. As I vowed in previous episode, I wanted to connect the Codex reading with also checking out the armory and like the research in, you know, one big episode. Therefore, as you guys can see, we are here in the lab with like the mad scientist Morden and his underling Shepard. Shepard in a researcher outfit, while from the back everything looks rather normal. From like the front, it seems like fucking Shepard's head was just like cut out and placed on this model of someone who is much leaner, I think. Or it might be just like an optical illusion because I'm, you know, used to, our old and trusty Alliance military outfit. Let's check out what we have in like the upgrades. What we've, accumulated along the way. Assault rifle damage. This upgrade strengthens a weapon mass effect field that we've learned about. Generator, actually, increasing the velocity of each slug. Yes, plus 10%, we know that. However, the collector assault rifle. Let's go now. After fighting like the Geth, we will be fighting, or finding, new and... updated perspective on this. The Collector's main weapon uses the same principles as a human assault rifle, but its organic components, organic components for the gun, clearly set it apart. Its power sources seem to be an internal organ with biotic capacitance. Capacitance? The fuck is this word? I think I'm getting tired, squad. I think I'm getting tired. Its ammunition resembles pellets of metallic enamel that strip shields of enemies with deadly efficiency. Pellets of metallic enamel. Pretty cool. I don't know whether anyone is using that shit currently. Maybe Garrus? Don't know. Damage protection. Comprehensive system upgrade offers improved protection for all squad members, regardless of team members' individual defense strategies. Okay, makes sense for the entire squad. Goated upgrade, therefore. A hack module. What the hell is this? Doubles the limit for... doubles the time limit for a hack. I don't recall fucking buying this. Apparently, my past self was just smart like that, getting this. In the ongoing war between security software companies and hackers, Cerberus seeks to maintain a list of primary backdoors, little-known security holes that have been active for some time and remain unpatched. Ongoing research in this area should improve operatives' ability to hack through most conventional security measures. Interesting. So I guess like the ability to hack in general into stuff is something that originated with us getting like a hack module from like the Cerberus. Our Alliance Mass Effect 1 Shepard wouldn't be able to do this with his space suit. Heavy Bones weave. By reinforcing the skeleton with a synthetic weave, bones can be made almost unbreakable. In the event of bone trauma, Medigel conduits allow for bone regeneration in a matter of days. This sounds like a Shepard unique thing. I don't think this could be installed in anyone else, you know, because we are freaking built from the ground up by Cerberus. This is the one that I'm interested in, not much like the text part, but like the number. It's 2 out of 5, meaning we already got 2 updates and upgrades. And my question to you guys might be, does it mean, could it mean that this text has changed with this particular upgrade, or is every one of those 5s that we find along the way identical and will just like provide us with like the same stuff written down here? Strong synthetic fibers can be woven through the skin, dramatically reducing damage taken from most attacks. These fibers also act as a Medigel conduit, improving killing. Shepard is fucking... is such a fucking unit. Improved bones, improved skin, he has everything under his belt. Heavy weapon ammo. The power cell technology used by heavy weapons is fairly old, but can be improved by rebuilding the core with more modern components. These improvements allowed standard power cells to yield more shots per power cell and allow for more total shots to be fired. Interestingly, I have not played that much with like the heavy weapons just yet. I don't know if the same type of ammo fuels all of them. Like the collector gun that we found in the very last episode seems to be working off of heat, so it might not be the case. So how would that increase the heavy weapon ammo capacity? Maybe, you know, it would provide us with more heat sink in general. Ah, here it is, Inferno armor. Cool looking one, but I cannot unequip the fucking headpiece. So it's sitting in my locker, huh? Built specifically for Cerberus field officers, the Inferno armor has a VI dedicated to recognizing signs of stress and medical trauma. This application helps assess soldiers but can be useful in any high-risk situations. The Inferno microframe computer also manages biotic amp and Omni-tool power, and micro servos help with the wearer's movements to counteract the armor's weight. Really cool one. Too sad that we have not seen like Cerberus operatives in the field actually wearing it. If the biotic power damage is sweet, but outside of that, it's eh. Krogan vitality. All Krogan members, but I think it just relates to Grunt. I don't know whether we'll be finding another Krogan specific companion. I doubt it. A scientist named Okir designed a retrovirus that matches the Krogan genetic code, modifying the gene sequence of the virus and injecting a small amount into the Krogan can introduce a change in that genetic code. Okay, so making the fucking Krogan more bulky with more health. What the fuck is this? What the hell is this? The image is missing, guys. What is going on? The Liber Shaft 2180 shotgun or Eviscerator is of a human civilian design and has a unique ammunition generator. Where most modern firearms shave off chips or pellets from an ammunition block, the M22 shaves off serrated metal wedges designed to fly aerodynamically. This dramatically improves its armor piercing capabilities, and its tight grouping helps wound ballistics at longer ranges than standard shotguns. This design, that you cannot see clearly, also violates several intergalactic weapons treaties, so the M22 is not distributed to militaries. That's so, I guess, useful in the field. Medical capacity. Okay, alright. All modern combat armor incorporates a first aid interface. Microprocessors in this interface monitor vital functions and release small localized doses of Medigel to accelerate the healing process. Manually timed heavy doses of Medigel can be released in response to major trauma. However, the efficiency of this is dependent on proprietary medical software that cannot be copied and is prohibitively expensive. Cerberus has developed its own software and is actively working to improve its efficiency. I don't know how I feel just yet about, you know, the game tying Medigel to like just Unity uses. Obviously, it heals the user in the process. But I don't know how I feel about that mechanic just yet. More than Omni-tool. Mordin built his own Omni tool and can make significant upgrades given the proper materials. Okay. So, doing it for himself, no one else? What an asshole. This upgrade improves the weapon's mass field effect field generator, increasing the mass and acceleration of each round fired. Probably for our boy Grunt. Sniper rifle for Garrus. This upgrade improves the weapon's mass effect field generator. Okay. Each slug fired, same description. Yes, same description for submachine gun damage. Tech damage, however. Multicore amplifier. Standard Omni tools are calibrated with a wide neural input tolerance range so they can be used effectively by any race. By turning the inputs of the Omni tool to match the specific neural pattern of the user, responsiveness and power can be greatly increased. Once tuned in this manner, the Omni tools is mostly unusable by anyone but the wearer. Interesting. So it becomes custom, huh? And it must be constantly recalibrated to subtle neural shifts. And the very last one is the trauma module. With Unity healing your squad to full health. A standard first aid interface can stabilize a badly wounded soldier, preventing death from all but the most serious wounds. The base technology, however, is ineffective on conscious soldiers who are currently taking fire, as each pain signal resets the process. I actually am loving how we are getting deeper into like the equipment in this particular game. While the very first one was very good about like showing different designs and you being able to equip or unequip them, use different guns from different manufacturers and so on and so forth. I love how this one is jumping deeper into, you know, how it all works and operates. A trauma module separates the Med-Gel administration into two layers, active and passive. The active layer constantly distributes small amounts of Med-Gel to fresh wound sites. The passive layer handles major deployments to incapacitating wounds. When large amounts of Med-Gel are deployed to incapacitated squad members, fighting members are also healed. Yup, that's how it works. Okay, moving on. Let's see at our research terminal. We have some upgrades here also. Let's check them out, and I think like the proper way of going about it, whenever we get like a new and unique one, I will be just like reading the lore associated with it on the go, or when there is this mission end screen so that we are, you know, caught up, because I know I have not checked out any of those, but later on it will get messy in here with me not knowing which one we've read and which one we didn't. So yeah, I think that's a sensible way of proceeding. Okay. AP sniper rifle. Okay, increases the tungsten content of slugs, and recalibrating the weapon's computer greatly improves the penetration against heavily armored targets. That's cool. I mean, that makes sense. Plus 50% against armor would be so useful. My biotic Shepard is rather struggling with armor, but more so shields, so getting these sorts of you know, upgrades is definitely what I'm looking at. Assault rifle penetration. The slug's tungsten content is increased and the weapon's computer is recalibrated, improving penetration of heavily armored targets. A phasic envelope surrounds each slug before it is fired at a target. This disrupts any mass effect field protecting the target, resulting in better penetration. We'll have to get all of that good shit. God damn, I'll have to scan so many planets. Shield piercing. Oh, for the submachine gun, I needed like fucking air, like oxygen. Requires one more submachine gun damage upgrade to unlock. Sadly, we don't have that. And even more iridium, huh? Creates a phasic envelope around each slug before it's fired at the target. Yes, resulting in superior penetration. I will be all over that shit when the time comes. Shotgun piercing. Yes, another phasic module that is effective by just being superior in the area of penetration. Alright, how about armor upgrades? What do we have here? Biotic damage. Ooh, let's freaking go. Standard firmware shipping with bioamps is designed to work with a variety of alien races and nervous systems. By hacking this firmware to relax built-in safety protocols, more powerful Mass Effect feuds can be generated. Each hack must be done carefully, tuned to the individual's nervous system, or there's risk of nervous system damage, sensation loss, or blindness. Element 0 is required. God damn, I'm getting this fucking right away. Let's go. Biotic duration is what we are left with. Maintaining a single Mass Effect field requires continual concentration. Really? By measuring and replicating neural system activity, this upgrade enables the user to maintain Mass Effect fields with less effort. I guess once again this will just improve my... not the fucking shockwave. What is the singularity? Yeah. Only for singularity, huh? But it's a squad bonus, so other people can utilize it. Okay. Emergency shielding. What is this all about? Shield emitters are optimized to produce a strong, reliable kinetic barriers that can be active for hours. Because of the potential for interference, it is nearly impossible to run two active emitters simultaneously. When one kinetic barrier is down, it is possible to activate a second, but this will generally interfere with the reactivation of the primary barrier. With precise timing, a short-term kinetic barrier can be made that seamless retracts when the primary barrier regenerates. Okay. Alright, I get it. I get it because it's summarized over here. It's just Unity restores squad members not only to full health but also their shields. Very useful, very useful. Sometimes when Shepard's shields go down, they are instantly fully restored. These are so good. I need them. I need them. We've struggled so much in the very last episode in the, combat department. Arguably, it was very difficult, but, having these, or like now seeing these upgrades, is just like a night and day type of situation. Kinetic barriers have improved the survival rate of individual soldiers against modern weapons, but attempts to reinforce failing shields with backups have traditionally failed due to interference. This area has remained an active topic of research for Cerberus, and a prototype redundant field generator has been created. With a proper investment, this can be miniaturized for personal use. Awesome. And that's awesome. We need that shit pronto. And tech duration, I don't know who is using tech abilities actually. Who is using tech abilities? I guess Morden would be one. But maybe Garrus? Maybe Garrus? I don't know. Certainly Jack, me, and Miranda, we are biotic users, right? And Kasumi also seems to be one. Or maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes it's tough to tell the difference. Traditional Omni tools are tuned for precise and delicate work. Eclipse engineers, Eclipse mentioned, tune their Omni tools in an opposite manner, focusing on quickly releasing raw energy but rendering them incapable of performing delicate work without swapping in an alternate tool. Cerberus has prototyped a multiple operating system approach that should allow one Omni tool to run dozens of configurations with instantaneous swapping as the user switches tasks. This should result in better performance at each individual task. Okay, so duration of tech powers, not so hot. Alright, moving on, what else do we have here? Ship enhancement, definitely an interesting category that we have not interacted with that much. Advanced mineral scanner, I do think this was like Miranda's upgrade, if my memory serves me right. The Android Group's proprietary Argus planet scan technology has been integrated into the ship's system. This will greatly speed up the planet's scanning process. Oh shit! Wait. What do you mean it will greatly speed up? I have a lot of planets to fucking scan. There will be like a lot of scanning on the table. What do you mean greatly increases the speed? As in we'll be getting more resources probably. That's goated. Holy shit, I'm diving deeper into it and there are just so many useful upgrades that we have to be getting ASAP. The Asari-made Solaris armor upgrade is attached to the ship's super structure. This will help the ship hold together if hit by a blast powerful enough to penetrate its shields. Okay, that's Jacob. Medbay Morden upgrades the Normandy's medical facilities with an advanced dermal regeneration unit. Using this unit will immediately and completely heal your scars. Okay, it's not Morden, it's just related to my fucked up face. Further scanning will not occur regardless of the actions you take. And the cannon, it's Thanix cannon. So, like, the entries we've been checking out earlier were not related to this. The Turian design Thanix magnetic hydrodynamic cannon is now installed on the Normandy. This cannon is powerful enough to destroy a collector ship with repeated hits. Okay. I mean, in the very last episode, it's been established that you can actually do some damage to these collector ships with just like puny ass Alliance turrets that we saw on Horizon or in Horizon. So not that hype. Prototypes, however. Okay, what do we have here? Cerberus assault armor, designed for shock troops who are expected to turn the tide of battle against creatures or forces that would decimate normal soldiers. The troops demanded 3 wings in its design. 3 wings, 3 things. Shields and armor thick enough to last against a superior foe, and a rechargeable pack to extend the heavy weapon power cell. The only drawback of the armor is its weight, which the troops carry as a point of pride. They have a saying, out of shape going in shape coming out. Heavy weapon ammo capacity, shields and health. Perfect for a tank, probably. Don't run this type of a character this time, so no bueno. This one is fucking scary looking. Adapted this suit for you. Okay. Cerberus adapted this suit for you out of salvaged collector technology, which is funny because I think this was available even prior to the very last mission. The collector's hideous armor is flexible and even tougher than ballistic fibers. Its organic construction allows it to be self-healing, and the muscle-like tissue that assists movement ensures it is comfortable to wear despite its weight. Regeneration, storm speed, and health. Makes me kind of think that whatever the collectors are using are not just like their skin, but their armor. Heavy skin weave. I believe I'm answering my own question. This is the same like description that we've seen along the way. I think I can just fucking research that shit. Just research that shit. What else? ML-77 missile launcher. Rapid-fire missile launcher with seeking projectiles. Seeking projectiles? Don't have to even aim this shit. Effective against armor, shields, and biotic barriers. Area where I'm lacking, kind of. Missile launchers are surfacing with increasing frequency among the terminus system's mercenary bands, but their origin is unknown. Each projectile features a friend or foe recognition system, ensuring it will find a hostile target, though not necessarily the one in the crosshairs. In airbound situations, it is useful for taking out snipers and other entrenched enemies, so it is popular with the Blue Suns mercenary band. It is nearly impossible to duplicate as it uses fabrication rights management, FRM technology. Interesting. Both this and the collector stuff we found in the very last episode is what you should be checking out, I think. Retrain powers. Advanced training allows Shepard to relocate points to powers. No additional points are granted. Shepard can complete this research project multiple times. Each time the project is completed, all points spent in powers will be reset. Oh, that's so lovely. We get to respec in this particular game. That's cool. Too bad it wasn't there in the very first game where there were more points to, you know, go around, seemingly. Access the squad menu to re-spend points immediately after completing this research project. Cool. Multicolor implants. Jack gets plus 20 biotic damage. Insane. She was already insane, allegedly. For whatever reason, she's just holding a gun in like the image associated with the upgrade and not, you know, using the fucking biotic powers, but it is what it is. Jack's vital signs show progressive neural generation, which would normally decrease her potential ability to generate mass effect fields. Instead, her ability appears to be increasing. Replacing the power module in her bioamp with higher capacity prototype module would dramatically increase the strength of Jack's biotics. Once again, it's a no-brainer. I think in the very next one, we will be taking Jack on to check her out and check out what abilities she has, so it's a no-brainer. Perfect. Collector hitting armor. Wait. Yeah, we've seen that one. Heavy muscle weave. It's a new thing. Shepard's melee attack is now more powerful, something that I never fucking use. Actually could have come in handy when I was like overrun and surrounded by the husks in the very last episode, but I forgot it fucking exists. I so rarely use it. I usually tend to stick as far away from the enemies as possible to, because I'm a glass cannon, so I totally forgot about this thing. The thing being melee attacks. Perforating the muscles with microfibers increases overall strength and decreases the potential for muscle damage from exertion. Okay. Krogan shotgun would be cool for Grunt. Gets a Claymore heavy shotgun. Armory scientists produced a single prototype for Grunt in violation of Council's space weapon safety standards. The recoil on the Claymore is enough to break a human's arm. Fortunately, Grunt isn't human. Hell yeah! Violating those Geneva Conventions at all times while working under Cerberus. M6622 Avalanche. Another heavy weapon. Cryo-rounds technology is used to modify standard weapon slugs. Oh, will we get to like actually do the same thing Morden does? Freezing opponents? A cooling laser collapses the ammunition into Bose-Einstein condensate. Fucking never heard of that. A mass of super-cooled subatomic particles capable of snap freezing impacted objects. I think this is on the table. Freezing them. Normandy scientists have found a way to apply this technology on a large scale by generating a Mass Effect containment bubble. This proof-of-concept large weapon technology is effective against armor, shields, and biotic barriers. It is nicknamed the Cryo Blaster. That's cool. I have to check out so many of those, but I'm just like so used to like left-clicking my fucking trusty and at the same time shitty like submachine gun. All of these heavy weapons are a little bit of a doozy. I constantly like fire my gun, hide behind cover, and fire off my biotic abilities, and like waiting for these heavy weapons to power up is sometimes like this, things that I'm not just willing to do. Okay, and the very last thing we will be checking out in this particular episode is like the weapons locker and all of the lore associated with the different guns that our squad is using. Here I am in the fucking biker... in the biker's outfit. The Jacob is not giving me the time of his day, not even fucking looking at me. I look so ridiculous, but I thought it would be, appropriate to use this particular one for like the weapons. Look at those fucking guns on Shepard. How was he fitting those in like the scientific uniform prior to that? I have no idea. It's like the greatest mystery in the Mass Effect universe, apparently. Alright, what do we have here? All of our squad is over here, and I guess I will go in. I will go in one by one, but in total, I believe, several people use machine pistols, several people use hand cannons, and so on and so forth, so I don't think this will be this extensive. Yeah. Miranda's out, loadout is the same as mine, as in Dilliard Shepard, so I think this will be rather on the brief side. Okay, let's see. Considering machine pistols, we only have one. It's an M4A Shuriken machine pistol, a common but effective submachine gun, fires 3-round bursts and can be pulsed for a higher rate of fire at the expense of accuracy, very effective against shields and biotic barriers, the thing we struggle with. As kinetic barriers have grown in popularity, so has the popularity of submachine guns manufactured by Elcos Combine. I don't recall that manufacturer. The Shuriken machine pistol has a reputation for being deadly and easy to use, but is weak against armor. Yeah, we'll have to remember about using it only against barriers and not necessarily against armor. I am dying for the upgrade in this area. For whatever reason, here we have no options whatsoever. Have not found anything. I can only assume that these upgrades that, are scattered throughout the universe are, have like a specific location associated to them, so I have just not gone in a particular direction, a direction that is netting you a machine pistol upgrade. How about the hand cannon? We have here a heavy pistol, a reliable, accurate sidearm, effective against armor, weak against shields and biotic barriers, manufactured by Elan's Risk Control. Once again, not recalling them from the first game. The Predator is valued as a powerful, deadly, but I remember the Predators as a line. A line is something I remember. Is valued as a powerful, deadly, and relatively inexpensive weapon. While it is not generally deployed in the military, where kinetic barriers are common, it is very popular in the terminus systems, where these defenses are less common. Okay. And the upgraded version. The Carnifex is a favored sidearm of mercenary leaders and Eclipse mercenary tech specialists. An expensive but powerful weapon, its marketing materials feature a charging Krogan with the slogan, "Don't you wish Carnifex would at your side?" Certainly do, these fucking Krogan do be fucking scary. Okay, how about like the special weapons? Yes. We have a grenade launcher, played with it a little bit, a tiny bit. A rapid-fire grenade launcher favored by Bloodpack Vorcha mercenaries capable of taking down multiple enemies with a single well-placed shot. Effective against armor, shields, and biotic barriers. It seems all of these additional ones are effective against armor, shields, and biotic barriers. The particle beam found in the very last one. Precise and lethal, this focus to radiation weapon is very effective against shield barriers and armor, once again. The amount of energy required to create a destructive beam is several orders of magnitude more than the amount needed to launch a high-velocity projectile via a mass effect field. The weapon you've retrieved appears to be a beam weapon of collector origin. Yeah, those collectors, like assassins or snipers, used those, but efforts to understand the technology and replicate it have failed. With enough research, the Normandy's engineers may be able to produce beam weapons, perhaps on a larger scale. Ooh. We are literally arming Cerberus to the teeth, while armoring ourselves. Arc projector, this is what we've played with a little bit also. Ionizes targets with a nano-visible laser to ready them for a high-voltage electrical attack. As the lightning-like bolts hit its first target, a sophisticated auto-targeting system paints succeeding targets with the ionization laser, allowing the electricity to take the path of least resistance and arc between them. An entire enemy strike team can be shocked death with a few pulls of the trigger. Yet too bad it takes forever to fire a single shot, you know? Remember guys, fucking cover is king in this game, and whenever you want to fucking load that weapon up, this powerful fucking shot, you have to break cover, and usually it's Shepard who has the most aggro in a team, so I am not the biggest fan of this, actually. And the Black Storm Singularity Projector, colloquially named Black Hole Gun, encases particles of matter within a high-powered mass-increasing field, elevating them to near-infinite mass. This creates a gravitational singularity that draws nearby enemies and objects inward for a short time. The rapidly increasing gravity near the singularity's event horizon rips the objects apart. Oh shit. I was thinking this is not that hype, it's just like another way of firing a singularity for a non-singularity Shepard, a non-biotic Shepard, but it seems that it also does damage, while ordinary singularity just immobilizes the target, let's say. The mass effect field soon destabilizes and returns to normal mass with explosive results. Okay, which one should we be running? I want to check out the projector, the particle beam. Yeah, that sounds cool. The other ones, not so much. Okay, let's see what else we can get. Garrus, he will have, yes, sniper rifles and assault rifles. This is hype. He has a very specific loadout to him. An Avenger assault rifle. I remember this beauty from the very first game. A common versatile military-grade assault rifle, accurate when fired in a short burst and deadly when fired on full auto. Yes, the Avenger is effective at penetrating shields, armor, and biotic barriers. I have to say, I just had a beautiful flashback to me just popping that one ability in Mass Effect 1 and going to town with my assault rifle without having to worry about overheating. It was awesome. I was just fucking mowing people down. I am missing that. I am envious of you guys. The modular design and inexpensive components of the Avenger make it a favorite of military groups and mercenaries alike. The Avenger has a reputation for being tough, reliable, easy to use, and easy to upgrade. By Elkos Combine, once again. M15A Vindicator Battle Rifle, a battle rifle favored by assassins and elite mercenaries that fires in highly accurate 5-round bursts and can be pulsed for rapid fire, deadly at any range, and effective against armor, shields, and biotic barriers. Upgrades the Avenger. Manufactured by Elanus Risk Control Service for the Blue Suns Mercenary Group, the Vindicator is quickly gaining popularity in the Terminus systems. Okay. And the very last one, and what I want to talk about, is like the orientation of these guns. Sadly, the game is not providing me with any context, with any numbers in regards to these, so I can only assume the lower a gun is on this particular screen, the better it is. Therefore, the Collector Assault Rifle is like the best one out of those. It's better. The Vindicator is better than the Avenger, and the Collector Assault Rifle is better than the Vindicator. This is the only way I can be looking at this and, you know, without going fucking insane from, you know, not getting the info in this particular game. I hope I'm right and I'm not, like, running some terrible shit on my squad. The Collector Assault Rifle... yes, their main weapon uses the same principles as a human assault rifle, but its organic components clearly set it apart. Its power source seems to be an internal organ with biotic capacitance. Okay, I remember reading this. Its ammunition resembles pellets of metallic enamel that strip shields of enemies with deadly efficiency. Yes. Equip that, certainly, Garrus, and you have also a sniper rifle, another thing that I'm kind of missing from the very first game. Our biotic Shepard, our adept Shepard is like a glass cannon type of a situation, but at the same time we have to move rather close towards the enemies to be able to target them with our abilities. And you know, it seems sometimes just fucking range is power in this game, with enemies being unwilling to push up on us. So it would be so cool to get like the to get to use the sniper rifle, but it is what it is. I'm having great fun with like my biotic powers. I was just wish them to combine them with an assault rifle and sniper rifle from the base game, from the first game rather. He is using a Mantis sniper rifle, powerful sniper rifle able to take out most targets in a single shot, incredibly accurate at long range, but rate of fire is slow, effective against armor, but weaker against shields and biotic barriers. Okay, so not that hot. I would want to not come anywhere close to, you know, biotic barriers and armor with a sniper rifle such as this. Manufactured by Devlon Industries, the Mantis is primarily used by police and planetary militia groups. The prevalence of kinetic barriers has made this weapon less popular with the military, but it is used more frequently in the Terminus system, where these defenses are less common. Okay. No other options for our boy Garrus. Moving on. What else do we have? Grant will have... Grunt will have a shotgun. In here, yeah, nothing new. But a shotgun, two options. A katana shotgun, I do recognize that name. Common military shotgun, deadly at short range, but ineffective at long one. Very effective against shields and biotic barriers, but weak against armor. Manufactured by Aryake Technologies, the katana is a common mercenary weapon and is also popular on colonies with Varren infestation. For whatever reason, I guess the shotguns are good against the Varren. And what he's currently using, the Eviscerator. Oh yeah, human civilian, yes, violates the Geneva Conventions. We've read that. It was a prototype that we researched. Jack, however, I think she will have like the same loadout as I do. No, she also gets to use the fucking shotgun. How come? How come she's a biotic and she gets to use a shotgun and I don't? I have just two pistols, really. Now I'm pissed. Now I'm pissed. Okay, make her also use that. Jacob, also a shotgun user and a hand cannon user. Makes sense. Miranda, machine pistol, Similarly to us and the hand cannon, that's the exact same loadout Shepard is using. Mordin, same type of a stuff. And Zaid, battle rifle, but he's using a Vindicator. Let's switch it out to Collector and Sniper rifle, so he is just like a, I guess like a clone of Garrus in the sense of weapon loadouts. And I think with this... Oh no, there's Katsumi also. She has a machine pistol and a hand cannon. I guess with this, we've concluded our episode. That's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. Wow. We've amassed like an insane episode. Thank you guys very much for sticking with me up until this point. I don't know even whether anyone is fucking watching at this point. Guys, if you are watching, drop a fuck the council comment in the section down below in order to, you know, confuse anyone else that tapped out at this point from this 2.5 long deep dive into the lore of the game. But what can I say? I've had great fun with it. I'm also rather satisfied with my performance. My voice somehow, just some way, somehow pulled through. Yeah. In the near future, I think I will not wait 10 episodes of Mass Effect 2 to produce you know another one of those, because we've had so many Codex entries stacked up, and you know, the next time, you know, I think we should be hitting those up you know, at a quicker pace. At this point, my brain is overfried with new and interesting lore and information, so I will be signing off. So thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, but remember to do it only if you guys feel like it. It's always greatly appreciated though when you guys do, because it helps the channel a great deal. And you know, considering the channel, also check it out. There may be some blind playthroughs in there that may pique your interest. For the very last time, thank you for joining me today. See you in the very next one, and bye bye. Stay safe out there, you beautiful people. Bye bye.